Studios. I've been there for 6, coming up to 7 years now in January, and my colleagues who are coming up later will be Anthony Francisco and Rodney Fontebella. They're also part of the visual development team at Marvel Studios. The head of our department is Ryan Mannerding, and we have a supervisor, Andy Park, as well. Ryan gave his talk yesterday, and Andy Park gave his talk on Friday. I hope you guys were there for that. They had some amazing stories and artwork to show. So before I get into the Guardians artwork, I just wanted to talk a little bit about what visual development department does at Marvel Studio. So we are charged with adapting and designing the characters, heroes, and villains of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The work you're seeing up here and for the next 3 other slides is from Ryan Meinerding, the head of our department. So when we design characters, we do their costumes, we do their helmets, we do their weapons, accessories, and sometimes even their power sets. Besides, like the Black Order you see over there, they all came out of our department. Besides character design, we also do something called Keyframe Illustrations. These are paintings that hopefully capture a significant moment in the film. They help our filmmakers get to the tone of a particular scene, and also they sometimes showcase a very important moment in a character's story. In this case, for the very first time, the Avengers assembled. The work we do at the Marvel Visual Development Department is often in the very beginning of the filmmaking process. So the artwork that we do kind of act as almost like a guideline or goal, so that everyone in production can kind of know what the end result should kind of look like. In fact, you actually get to see our concept art every time you watch a Marvel Studios film. It's in the animated title sequence. So of course we start with the source material, which is our long history of comic books, and it transitions into the script and then into concept art. The images you're seeing now is actually pieces of concept art that our department has done, and it goes into the live action final product. Obviously, thousands of people who are very dedicated and talented come in between those 2 steps, but you gotta get the idea. So for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Andy Park, who gave a presentation on Friday, he was the supervisor on this project. So some of this is his artwork. So he revamped a lot of the Guardians for the new film. And also he did Mantis. And again, the keyframe illustrations for a significant moment in the movie. And oftentimes, the production concept artwork actually ends up being promotional material for our films, and this was given out at Comic-Con last year for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Personally, on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, I did the final design for Ego. So that's kind of my contribution to the film. The process was long, and so this is this is actually my work from now on. We knew from the very beginning that Ego was going to be very important to this movie. It was important that we get him to look right because he's in almost the entirety of the movie. James Gunn told us about Ego and that he is his planet. So in these early images, I made sure to emphasize the relationship between the body and the planet. He is the master of his domain. He can control anything on his planet, and the planet is made up of himself. So some of the more fluid or organic qualities of him I try to portray in these images. These are the really earlier ones. We do not know exactly what kind of clothing he'll be wearing at this point. So I was thinking that maybe it could be armor that is actually living like the planet and actually moves around on him. It might be a CG suit. Again, just early images showcasing what he might be. walking in his own planet, strolling through the garden that he created. This is a sketch that kind of turned into this image. At this point early in development, Ego himself entirely took around 7 months of work to nail down the look that you see in the film. So these would be in the first few months of design time. And the Ego planet itself, we actually don't know exactly what the look would be. So VizDev took stabs at what the planet itself could be. So for this one, I actually just imagined it to be very much like human skin with human anatomy. So you get the top layer of skin, and then you get your fat and your muscles. Knowing that Ego can rebuild himself using his own planetary materials, so if he gets damaged, he can just reconstruct himself. For this one, we explored certain phases of direction. This one was more of the Buck Rogers classic sci-fi look that we wanted to explore. One of the challenges of designing Ego was that he has to be cool, because he is Star-Lord's dad. Chris Pratt is effortlessly cool as Star-Lord, so you got to create this father character that you can believe is actually Quill's dad. In this early phase, James Gunn, the director, also told us that Ego would be traveling through space, exploring planets in a spaceship. So I just took a silly stab at doing a spaceship with a giant eyeball. I thought it'd be cool if it twitches around and maybe even talks to Ego as they travel through space. But nobody responded to that idea. It didn't go. So we tried to make him cool, somewhat like a bohemian look, or even a rock star look. Eventually, we arrived at a more Western space cowboy kind of aesthetic. So this images that you're seeing now is towards that kind of direction. Now, this is towards the later part of production, and the art department has already finished designing Ego's planet. The look of the planet itself is very much made of lattice of rocks and fractals, really intricate patterns. So that form language is now incorporated into the design of his clothing. You can see that in his belt, you can see that in his gauntlet, or like designs on his vest. So it just keeps going and going. On the top left corner, you can see some of the numbers to kind of give you kind of an indication of how many versions of a costume we would keep trying on to see what James and Kevin Feige would like. All told, I think the VizDev department pumped out at least 400 images of Ego to try to get at the final look of his costume. So after all that's said and done, we went back to this look, and we found out that Kurt Russell was cast as Ego, and he just makes the character 100 times cooler than anything I could design. Like, he makes Ego. I have to say it's a personal career highlight to have Mr. Russell wear something that I have a hand in designing, so I'm very thankful for that. And here, just the actual costume, and you can kind of appreciate the detail work that has gone into creating it. The costume department did an amazing job fabricating the costume. The form language of the planet still survives in the gauntlets and the details of his costumes. I'm very glad for that. Some of the really great stitching work that the costume department put in as well. One of the really cool perks of this job is sometimes your design gets turned into toys, and as always, you should just see how toy manufacturers interpret your design. Otherwise, I just took a stab at some of the other Guardians. For Star-Lord's short jacket, I wanted to create a star symbol just for his namesake. It's a little bit silly, but just a reason to have that particular shape on him. The Guardians James wanted them to be a little bit more rock and roll this time around, so their looks have already been determined in the first film. I got the chance to do Michelle Yeoh's Alita character, one of the Ravagers, to show up towards the end of the movie. And here's some of my keyframes, again, establishing mood and lighting for a sequence. Rocket Raccoon stalking his Ravager prey in Berhart Forest. And some Ego explorations. And this last keyframe, I was really glad to do a keyframe with Baby Groot and Rocket, actually because of something I did in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. I did the image of Rocket and Groot escaping the prison in the first movie, and in the second movie I got to do them doing a kind of a mirror reverse thing, so I can't wait to see what they do in the next adventure. Who's going to be on whose shoulder. It's going to be fun. So this last sequence of really quick sketches was something that James Gunn specifically asked for to be on set. So in this sequence, Ego is explaining to Quill how he met his mother and how he came about planting bits of himself in different planets. So these ended up being 3D sculptures in the film, but on set that day, they just had to have something on a wall as a point of reference. So I'm just putting this in here because I had a great time just imagining Ego romancing all these other alien species, and particularly I just got a kick out of thinking that Kurt Russell and Chris Pratt started this silly drawing all day while they were acting. So yeah, thank you so much. This was done for the Ravagers for their appearance at Comic-Con last year. And yeah, if you want to follow, if you want to see more of my work from MCU, you can follow me at JWSVE. And thank you so much.
Character, I'm not sure if you guys remember him, is Baby Groot. This guy. So I started off from the pot, helping design the pot to the final Baby Groot design, where at the end tag of Guardians 2. So in the beginning, it was like, I wasn't sure if he had to look like Baby Groot right away, so you have to do a bunch of little sketches. So this is the first sketch I did. It's like, it looks weird, too weird. And James Gunn, I think, decided he wanted to make it look more like a plant, so like not too alien. So this is one of the alien plants I had. It's kind of looking like him already, dancing with a weird face, but and I tried weirder stuff. So I did like 20 designs, but here's one, like asparagus alien. So yeah, all the designs are bad at first, but you gotta get all the bad stuff out first before you could get something good going. And it was like 1 week I was doing all this stuff. So here's like an octopus alien mushroom thing. So sometimes when you do creature design, you never want to do 50% of one creature to the other creature. You want to go like 80%, let's say octopus, and then 15% mushroom and something like that, and the third 5% zombie. I don't know, something like that, something weird. So I think I was having so much trouble trying to figure out stuff. I got really hungry, which explains this next one, hamburger alien face. So it's like, but still trying to make him look cute, and I don't know where this came from, zombie Baby Groot. But don't worry, I kind of started understanding he's supposed to look like a miniature Groot, but not looking like the adult Groot. So I just imagine, I just went with making him smaller, and maybe, he's just this small, looking at the light going, I am Groot, I am Groot. But eventually, I know the director wanted a face on a plant, and I tried this, this, just a face on a plant, and it's too literal. So I need to put some arms on him, so I tried another version of it, which is this one. But then eventually, after 5 more designs, I came with this version that he kind of liked. So you're narrowing away a path to how Baby Groot looks like in the pot now. But I had cuter versions and a mixture of the other cuter versions to the one I have now, and started looking like this. And then eventually it looks like this guy. But this is the approved version, so he liked this approved version, and he said, just take out the flower, and then he'll be good. So then this became the approved version that went to visual effects. Am I talking too fast? Is everything good? So from here, so Guardians of the Galaxy 1 was done, and then part 2 started, and he was asking for a baby Groot, like a toddler type body type. So my first idea that I came up with was looking like this, like a bigger head and unbalanced. But then I found out he'll be dancing more, so we needed like a body type that would still feel like a baby, but but be able to move a little bit more like someone that can dance. And then I started coming with other ideas of him being able to dance. My inspiration came from my kids, you know, and my kids dancing, they love to dance. And even my 4-year-old, when he was 4, his body type pretty resembled what Baby Groot is, the one that ended up in the movie. So this was a leaner Baby Groot. And then eventually, I think I got the hang of him now and made him a little more smoother all around and just a little more cuter. So I had to ask my son to dance in front of me so I could take pictures of him so I could get the proper version. And then this version here, it was the approved that James Gunn liked. And if you could tell, like in the movie, they followed a lot of the features in his face. And then we had to put it together with Rocket, of course, to see their, you know, their relationship, how good they are together. And this, I think, this is the image that James Gunn liked the most. And there's only one critique he had is Groot was too big. So, you know, he had to be smaller like this, so he could go on his shoulder. So then we have that same image where he's on the shoulder, this time instead of Rocket on Groot's shoulder. And then from here, visual effects gets, we make a 3D model like this, the base model, and uses as base to start doing different color passes on him. So these are different color passes I did on him. There's more variations actually, maybe 20 more variations. Very subtle color shifts, and how green, how not green, and how much leaves he has to need on his body. But as you can see, you can't even see the difference as much, but I guess it makes a big difference when it's on film already. And from here, and then after they got the approval version for this, I had to make a keyframe for him to give attitude. And then the final end tag, this was the beginning of the end tag of Guardians 2. But he was still kind of a tween here. In the final, the end tag for Guardians 2, he was a little bit bigger because we figured that maybe his species would be a little taller than normal 8-year-olds. And of course, I need good reference for this. I have my son reference for this. So it's exactly his body type. So I just copy his body very easy. When I was designing this the first time, it was difficult because I couldn't get the language yet until I have my son here, I should just use him easily. And we had to do some different hairstyles on him. So I don't know, I like the one on the very left. How about you guys? Which one? This one over here? More rebel? And I think after we were thinking maybe he's too young here, so maybe go a little older. So I have him a little older now. Just really, hey, don't bother me, I want to play my games. I always get that from my son, so I'm like, this is familiar. So from here, again, same, do hairstyles. So you got the range, I know. Guys have any preference? This one, middle, or here? Over here, on this side? The emo one, the hard rock one over here? Punk over here? Yeah, the emo. I think they liked that too. That was the version they liked, but in the end, I think they just went with an older, he even got older, not older, I'm sorry, just taller and more lanky. So from here, we went to this guy, and this guy became the final approved version for the end tag for Guardians of the Galaxy. So I watched this guy grow from the pot to the, not quite the adult, but you know, I think he's 16 here. I'm not sure. I don't remember, but he's still a teenager. And I did versions of this with different hairs in different parts that felt kind of uncomfortable for him. So, and then we did more hairstyles of him. Supposedly he's so unkept, you know, he just has his hairs growing out and not even cutting them. And well, that's my presentation for this one, and this is more of my art if you guys want to check it out.
All this action going on, like the children of Thanos, and God, like I'm sorry, I'm geeking out here, but I know I should be presenting, but I'm sorry, I'm just looking at everything here, and it's been great. So my name is Rodney Fuentebella. I've been with Marvel Studios for, God, since 2010. it's been a while, and it's been such a fun ride so far. Just doing all these concepts, seeing the growth of this studio, and everything. And Jackson's told us everything about what we've done, and I gotta let you know that just being here for this long, I'm still a fan of all this stuff. I don't know about you guys, but anybody a fan of Marvel? Anybody? Anybody? All right. Yes, that's what I like to hear. Woo! All right. So this is a kind of a snippet of the things that we do here, or I did here for Guardians of the Galaxy. Just a little bit here and there of all the little things. What we do are keyframes and character designs, as which I mentioned before, and it's been fun, like doing everything from the pods to everything. So I'll kind of go through a little bit of what I did on this film. The first thing I did was I got to design some jetpacks. And I don't know about you guys, but I love jetpacks. As I'm a kid at heart, and I'm just like, I get to do something that flies. Yes! So, but there's a lot of design challenges when it comes to this stuff. One of the things that we got to do is, how is it gonna work for, Star-Lord? Easy. He's a heroic guy, he's awesome. And as well as for Drax, okay, he's bigger, he's pretty still, he's just big guy and he's very heroic. As well as for this girl, Gamora, and for Rocket. So we had to design something for all these different characters. And as Mr. Gunn would say, almost every time I would see him on his show, he would always say, make it work. So, well, this isn't Gunn, but he's the voice of someone. If you guys know anything from another Disney property. So, here's a couple designs that we did for what they call the air rigs. We did a bunch of things for how it would look on them, and just coming up with different concepts. That's what we do. We do a lot of different ideas to see what works and what doesn't work. This one too, just coming up with all these different designs that look heroic and that fit for all these different characters, and as well as the back. And you have to make it look cool and make it look awesome. And we took advice and from James Gunn to see what he wanted out of this. And eventually we did come up with this design that you see in all our heroes. And I don't know about you, but I love how this looks on everybody. I think for me, it makes everyone look great, and they're flying around doing all their crazy heroic stuff. So that was great. Another thing we did a lot of keyframe illustrations. Now these things are pretty much to show the idea of what the movie would be before they would start filming. So we would come up with different, what we would call thumbnail illustrations, quick ones to see what they like. James Gunn would pick one, say, sweet, and I would render it up. Same thing with this one here. I would do this heroic scene with Gamora hauling Drax behind her. James Gunn would pick one, and I would render it up. That's pretty much how it would go. And then same thing with this one here. I would do a couple thumbnail illustrations, and James Gunn would not pick any one of them. He basically said, nope, I don't think so. And he said, this is what I want. And oh, okay, that works for me. So I rendered that up. And that's how it goes sometimes. Another thing we did was we did a lot of kind of character designs. And one of the ones that I got to work on were these really cool robots. They got to have a person's head in it, and it's all golden colored, and it's kind of like this version of Iron Man in a way. So I was so excited to do this one. Unfortunately, it got cut, which happens a lot too. But I had fun doing these guys. But fortunately, we do a lot of characters that do make it on screen. And I got to touch on doing some initial concepts for Mantis. So she was someone that I you know, that was really fun, as well as a special surprise. His name is Martin X. He was a Ravager, and people seemed to like him when he was on screen, so that was awesome. And one of the characters that I'm pretty proud of doing was Stakar. He was one of the main Ravagers. If you've seen the movie, he plays a pretty important part in this film. The thing about doing these characters is there's a comic book background that we kind of derive our initial designs from. And how do we make it work for the big screen? I'm like, that's kind of our job. We have to figure out how it works with what's been established in the first one and make it work for this upcoming film. So I did a bunch of designs of how Stakar would look like, make him look like other Ravagers that's been out there. So, you know, kind of paying homage to what's been done, and as well as the comics. Playing around with like how his antennas would look like, and we did another one where he kind of has this like glowy pattern thing. So they were pretty happy with it. They liked the design, but they haven't picked an actor at this point until they picked somebody that I think some of you guys may know. So they picked Sylvester Stallone, which was like, oh, that was so awesome. And you know, we as artists, we don't get to meet these actors much, so we're kind of in our little kind of cubby hole, and you know, we don't get to see them, but I got to meet him. So I was so happy to be able to meet him, because you know, I don't know about you, but I love like being able to see these stars. So, you know, I hope I get to meet another star, but I don't know. At this point, I'm just happy at least I got to meet this guy. Now, there's another Ravager you guys have seen maybe from the first one that I think you guys like as well. It's this guy. Anybody here Yondu fans? Anybody? Anybody? All right. But, you know, I know there's another Mary Poppins there, but for me, this guy is my Mary Poppins. I don't know about you guys, but this guy's mine. You know, he is my guy. I'm trying to, you know, create a little hashtag thing going on here. So, you know, make this trend. If you guys can, make a trend. You know? So I'll kind of give you like a run through of how this concept came about. From the beginning to where we are right now. So, you know, this is the poster and this is my design that I did from the first movie. But I'll kind of walk you through a little bit about how we came about doing that and how I would paint these guys up. You know, I don't know if you can see up there, but you know, I do a couple sketches. You know, we use this digital media, but we're still kind of feeling it out, seeing what works and what doesn't work. And at first, we didn't know who this person was going to be. We just kind of came up with the design of like a space pirate. Like, how would this look like? Coming up with different textural patterns. You know, different types of mohawks. See what works. Things that make them look gritty. I don't know, things like that. I just wanted. This is what we do. This is what concept artists do. And eventually we came up with this idea of this jacket that's been made out of different materials from his different conquests and kind of hodgepodge them together. That was the idea of how he looks like that, and give him this concept of what a space pirate is all about. But as you can see here, we didn't have an idea of who was going to play him. So, you know, we were come up with different designs of what this character would look like. And it got a little scary, I know, but this is, you know, we had to explore it. That's what we do. Eventually we got around and we picked, and we found out that this guy, Michael Rooker, was gonna play him. Anybody here a fan of Michael Rooker? Anybody here? Anybody? All right, yeah. Louder, come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, the man himself,
All right.
Michael Rooker.
Hey everybody! Did you hear me trying to get out of that room over there? That's where they keep actors. It's scary, isn't it? Have you ever been locked in that room? Oh yeah, Disney keeps all the actors back there. How's everybody doing out there? How many of y'all seen Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2? Did you enjoy Yondu? Are you gonna vote for Yondu for Teen Choice Awards? Vote soon and vote often. Pretend like you're from Chicago.
That's awesome. Hey, one more time for Michael, everybody. Come on.
Hey, I don't know what these guys have been talking to you guys about, but it's not right.
All right. Hey, Rodney, you got some more stuff to show us here now that we got. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. So here are some ideas of the fin that we did, and you know, we came up with some crazy designs of how this thing would look like, and we came up. I tried.
Although that would have been good because you know what? I think I gave myself a couple of concussions. The way we ended up with having it was a little taller. It's about 8 inches, right?
Yeah, it was pretty tall. A little taller than the first one, I think.
Oh, a wee bit. Not that much taller, right? Well,
So-
we had we had three versions of the fin in our movie.
Yeah, 3 versions.
Yeah, the one,
Yeah.
the short one.
Yep.
The blown off version.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And then the new version.
Yeah, yep. I gotta say, I do. All 3 versions look awesome in you, Michael. They were
Oh, thank
awesome.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Was it heavy on your head? Was it heavy?
What?
Was it heavy?
It was not heavy,
It's really
by the
light.
way. No, it was not heavy at all. I literally forgot I had it on, and that's why I kept bumping my head into stuff. Doorways, mirrors, you go in to adjust something and
Yeah, I think that's why we kind of made it short in the first one, but I think the fans liked that one.
oh,
and
dude, I love that. Once I put that on,
Yeah.
I put that on and I was like, why in the world did we ever do a short one?
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you.
You nailed it. You did nail
That
it.
was it. That was
Yeah.
it. As soon as you put it on, as soon as I got it on my head, it was like, no, wait, this is it. This
Yeah.
is the way it looks.
Yeah.
It's like a good hat.
Do you know hats, Michael? I think I've seen your Instagram. I think.
I like hats.
Yeah,
I like hats.
So, and then we came up with another type, and it kind of made him look a little bit like a shark. Little something techie. Something a little funky here.
These are sort of like 50s, 60s hairdos.
Yeah, they kind of
Come
have.
back, a little conservative, business-like. Yeah, now we're looking a little rock and roll-ish over here.
Yep, there was a
That's
little rock and
that's
roll
more like,
there.
That's more like Yondu.
Yep. It was getting there.
Yep.
We kind of got a little.
Well, you got high there. You got really.
Yeah, that
Well,
got.
I mean, you got not high, but you got
Maybe I was a little
you
bit
got a
doing
little
this
tall.
guy.
I mean, it got taller.
Yep, a little tall, and
Oh, look at your note, crazy.
Yep. This one was a little out there. I tried something, but I had to pull it down a bit. And then,
How many did you go through all total? How many?
Oh my God! I think I must have designed about maybe 30 or 40 different
30,
types.
40 different
Yeah,
ones.
yeah.
But you only put in 3D. How many did you wait until you found one you really liked before you did a 3D printing on it?
I think. Well, we would do a bunch of these. We would do these concept paintings, and then James Gunn would pick the one that he liked.
So mostly it was a visual, not actual physical.
Exactly.
Okay.
So these were all paintings and on the
Alright.
computer first before we got there, because.
Well, I got to tell you, almost every single one that I've seen so far, everything looks good on me.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. What do you guys think? I think I look good in anything. That's what my mommy keeps telling me. Honey, you look good in anything,
Yeah.
don't you worry. Go on to school now.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't want to
gotta
wear
say.
the bow tie.
Yep. Yeah, and then eventually we did find the one that I think James Gunn said this is gonna work the best with Michael Rooker.
Right on.
And
right on.
they all worked pretty well, but I think this one was the one that
This is the one
Yeah.
that you decided and you printed up and you did a whole concept 3D.
Yep,
printing and all that stuff.
Other guys did it, and they put it on you, and it looked like
Yeah.
these illustrations. And I don't know about you, but I dig this design on this guy here. So
Looked
this
great. It
this is
looked
the
great.
final. This is
It
the
went
final
well
one.
with my head.
Yep, and
Yeah, my
Yeah.
head is interesting. Sort of a Neanderthal look. I mean, look at those brows. Oh man, baby, you know that side view? Yeah,
that's a heroic brow.
there you go.
That
I like
is a
this
very
guy. I like this
heroic
guy
brow.
already.
And there it is. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for all three of our artists, Jackson, Anthony,